Hi everybody, it's Mrs. Maldonado. I'm here just to say how much I'm thinking of you and hoping that you're doing okay. I've noticed this week that so many of you have been working really hard on your iReady math. We were up to 52 students this week on there. So I think a big part is getting the laptops, getting on every day, doing your best work. Really proud of the effort that I'm seeing. If you have any questions about the online assignments, how to do them, how to submit your work, or anything at all, reach out to me through Dojo or email. All right. Our lesson this week is lesson 16 on Ready Math. Let's take a look. The objective of the week is practicing multiplying decimals to the hundredths place. So the last few weeks we've been working with decimals, understanding place value, comparing and rounding. This week is a good review on how to multiply decimals using place value. There's two main vocab words that I want to review before moving on. The first word is factors. The factors are the numbers that you multiply. So in this problem here, these two numbers are called my factors. I am multiplying them. Now the product is the answer in multiplication. So for this problem, my product is 16 and 60 thousandths. Let's try a few problems together. If you need to pause the video and grab some pencils, paper, a notepad, something so that you can try the problems with me, that'd be really good practice. Okay, problem number 1. What is the product of 48 hundredths and 2 5/10? So right away, if I was to read this problem, I see the word product. We just talked about what that means. Do you remember? The answer to multiplication. So it's a clue word. So what I do is I always either circle or underline it, and then I put times because I know it's going to be multiplication. All right, let's solve it. All right, so here I have 48 hundredths times 2 5/10. Okay, so we do not need to line them up when we multiply. You only need to line them up when you're adding and subtracting decimals. All right, so let's start with the 5 here. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 4 that I regrouped is 24. 5 times 0 is 0, but don't forget to add the 2. So remember, once we use it, we're going to cross it out and get rid of it. I use the 5, 4, and the 2. That way I don't get confused as I move on. Now I'm going to move over to the 2. So I'm going to put my place value down, place value holder. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 2 times 0 is 0. Okay, now make sure your numbers are lined up nice and neat. If you want to draw spaces and lines, that way you know that you're adding using the correct place value. 0 plus 0 is going to give me 0. 4 plus 6 is 10. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 9 is 12. Okay, now at the end we have to figure out where to put our decimal point. Make sure you're really paying attention. So now I'm going to go back up to my original factors, to my numbers. We're going to act like it's a whole number. And then we're going to scooch it over. How many place value spots is 48 hundredths? 1, 2. 2 place value spots. 2 5/10. If it was a whole number, my decimal point would be here. If I moved it over one time, that'd be 1 place value spot over. How many total place value spots for both factors combined? Well, 2 spots here, 1 here, together is 3. So what that means now in my product and my answer, I'm going to start on the end like it's a whole number, and I'm going to move it over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So here, my product would be 1 and 200 thousandths. Then I would circle my final answer. I know it's reasonable because here 2 and 5/10 is about 3 wholes. And if I multiply it by something less than a whole, my product is going to go down. Always check and say, does my answer make sense? Is it reasonable? All right. Let's try problem number 2. Okay, this problem is about Lily. Hi, Lily. All right. Lily buys 9/10 yards of fabric to make headbands. The price is $2.63 per yard. How much does Lily need to spend in all? All right, so I know this is going to come in equal groups, and I know that each yard is going to be $2.63. So I need to multiply and find out how much total she's spending. So because this one has 3 digits, I'm going to put it on top. Then underneath, I'm going to write 9/10. I can put the 0 or not. There's 0 wholes. It wouldn't make any difference. Now I'm just going to multiply across. 9 times 3 is 27. Regroup. 9 times 6 is 54. And if you don't know what 9 times 6 is, you should be skip counting on the side, counting by 9s 6 times. So don't forget your strategies. 9 times 6 is 54, plus 2 is 56. 9 times 2 is 18 plus 5. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay. Used it, and used it. And now I don't really need to multiply the 0 across because that's just going to give me a bunch of zeros. So here's my product. Let's figure out how many total place value spots for my decimal point. All right. Let's look at our 2 factors. Make it a whole number. 1, 2. 2 place value spots. Make it a whole number. 1 spot. Altogether, that's 3 spots. So now in my product, let's do the same thing. Start on the end, scooch it over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Let's write it over nice and neat. So my product is 2 and 367 thousandths. Let's just make sure that makes sense. So here, if I was to round 2 and 63 hundredths, that would give me 3 hundredths. If I estimate to the nearest whole number. Down here, 9/10 is less than 1 whole, but it's about 1 whole. So if I multiply those, that would give me 4. And I know it's going to be less because 1 whole would be more than 9/10. So I know that this would make sense. If I take my original number and multiply it by a number less than a whole, my product should go down. And I know we talked a lot about that with multiplication as scaling when we talked and looked at fractions. Same thing with decimals. If you're multiplying by something less than a whole, your product goes down. Okay, one more, and then I'm going to have you try one. Okay, this problem is all about Mrs. Andrews. She's going to Walmart to buy some honey ham. Mrs. Andrews buys 2 8/10 pounds, remember LBS is pounds, of honey ham at the Walmart deli. The ham costs $3.52 per pound. What is the total amount that Mrs. Andrews spends on honey ham? All right, this is another problem that's coming in equal groups. We need to calculate the total amount that she's spending on honey ham. So again, this one has 3 digits and this one has 2. So to multiply to make it easier, I'm going to put the 3-digit number on top. 3 and 52/100 times 2 and 8/10. So again, I'm going to multiply across, ignoring the decimal to the very end. Here we go. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 5 is 40, plus the 1, 41. 8 times 3, 24, plus the 4 is 28. I used it. I'm going to put down my smiley face or my placeholder. And then I'm moving over to the 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus the 1, 7. Line it up, add it up. Nice and neat. 6, 5, 8, 7, 8, 9. All right, now I need to look closely. I need to figure out my decimal point. If I was here, if it was a whole number, that would be 2 spots. If this was a whole number, it would be 1 spot. So with both of my factors, there's a total of 2 plus 1 equals 3 place value spots. So in my product, start on the end. 1, 2, 3. Write it nice and neat. 9 and 856 thousandths. So in this problem, this first number is 3 and 52/100. I'm multiplying by a decimal that's greater than a whole. So if it's greater than a whole, my product should go up. 9 and 856 is reasonable because it's going up and it makes sense. Always double check your decimal point. So the last one is just a quick problem. Have you tried now? Okay. Here's the problem. What I want you to do is I'm going to show you the problem and I want you to pause the video. I want you to solve it the best that you can, really looking closely at the decimal point. And then at the end, double check it and say, is my answer reasonable? Does it make sense? Okay, so here's your problem. Pause the video. Okay, so you should have paused the video, you should have hit play, and I'm going to reveal the answer. If you didn't solve it, it's your last chance to pause it. Okay, let's see how we did. All right, let's get nice and close. Okay, so here are all the steps. Let me fold it so you can see it. So here we have our partial products here, the numbers that we need to add up to get the product at the end. You had to count how many total place value spots. You should have had 3. After you lined up your partial products and you added them, this should be the correct number. Starting at the end, you put your decimal point and you need to move it over 3 spots. Boom, land it. Can you read this number correctly? That's right. It's 24 and 486 thousandths. If you had something incorrect, go back and check your work. Find out what your mistake is. Okay. Well, that was a quick review on multiplying with decimals. Again, if you have any questions, concerns about the work at home, or you're not sure about something, reach out to me. I'm pretty great with emails and Dojo. Other than that, keep practicing your math. Check out my video on Math in the Kitchen with Rosie, and stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay happy. Bye.